Hi guys! Today I am here to do another Christmassy tag video. This time I will be doing the Grinch tag, which was created by Samantha over on Thoughts on Tomes, and I will leave a link down to the original video in my description box below for you guys to check out. I was not tagged to do this, but I really like doing the Christmas tags. I think they're fun and adorable, so I'm going to keep doing them even if I'm not tagged in them. So ha! There are 10 questions in this tag, and I have the questions on my phone here to answer. So without any further ado, let's get started. So the first question deals with Christmas tree lights, and half of them are burnt out. So I need to pick a book that was good when it started, but burnt out halfway through and wasn't very good anymore. For this one, I'm going to go with the series, and I've mentioned the series in a previous video, and it is the House of Night series by Kirsten and PC Cast. And I really liked this series when it started. I thought it was great, but I felt like the further it got, the more repetitive it got, and I didn't really like it anymore. When I read a series, especially a longer series, I want the plot to be new and interesting and develop a lot more than it did, so it kind of lost interest for me, and I lost interest in it, and it burnt out halfway through for me, unfortunately, which is sad, because I really liked some of the characters in the series. The second question deals with the You're Annoying Aunt Sally, and for this one I have to pick a book that I didn't like but everyone else loved, and because of that I never stop hearing about it. And for this one I am choosing City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. I've said it before and I will say it again, I did not like this book. I didn't like the writing style, I didn't like the character development. I just overall was very unpleased with this book and was kind of disappointed because it received a lot of hype, and it didn't really live up to the hype in my opinion. Now, you might have really liked this book and that is great, but I thought it was kind of cruddy, which is sad because I was really interested in the Infernal Devices trilogy, which is like an offset series of the same book kind of a deal with some of the same information that plays into the Infernal Devices series, which is what City of Bones is part of. And now I feel like I can't read the Infernal Devices trilogy because it has probably the same writing style and character development as the Mortal Instruments series, and that makes me sad. The next question is, your pets keep knocking over the Christmas decorations on your tree. Pick a book with a character who messes things up, but it can't be a villain. For this one, I am picking Hector and the Man in Grey from The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. Both of these characters in this book, I feel like inadvertently start messing things up for people, surely because of the lack of information they are willing to provide to the people who they are tutoring / sponsoring / have entered into this battle kind of a deal. And I feel like because of the lack of information that they are giving both of the people that they are sponsoring in this battle contest thing, they are inadvertently causing them to mess up a lot, and a lot of the problems that happen in this book probably could have been avoided if Hector or the Man in Grey had been a little more upfront about what happens in these sort of battle contest things and some of the rules that are supposed to go along with it, because they didn't really elaborate on any of that, nor on some of the really important plot points, but I won't say those because spoilers, and I want everyone to read this book and not be spoiled on it because it's fantastic and I love it. The next question is, you hear your parents putting presents under the Christmas tree that are supposed to be from Santa, and now you know Santa's not real. Name a book that was spoiled for you, and I am picking the first book in the Game of Thrones series by George R.R. Martin, and I spoiled this one for myself. I did this to myself, and I did it knowing full well that I would be spoiled and probably lose interest in these books. I watched the TV show before I read the book, but I had the book before I started watching the TV show. So I knew I was going to receive spoilers, and I knew that the TV show was pretty spot on with the events and characters and things that develop, so I spoiled it for myself, and now I am having a hard time picking up this book because I know the events that happen, and even though I'm in love with the TV series for this book, I feel like I can't read the books anymore because I know exactly what's gonna happen for the most part. So I spoiled it for myself. Oops. The next question is, it's freezing outside. Choose a character that you just couldn't connect with, and for this one I am choosing Doyle from The Ballad of a Small Player. And I don't know what it was specifically about Doyle that made me feel like I couldn't connect with him, but I felt like a lot of his emotions were kind of just like on the surface and weren't always super deep. And I don't know, he was hard to connect with as a character for me, and he was the main character. And even though I loved this book, the fact that I had a hard time connecting with the main character made me love it just a little bit less. The next question is Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You is constantly playing and it's giving you anti-romantic feelings. Name a character, couple, relationship that you cannot stand. And I am going to pick Anna and Christian Grey's relationship from the entire 50 Shades of Grey trilogy. The entire trilogy. I read all 3 books. I did it. I read them. I will probably see the movie because I am curious as to how they're going to translate books to an acceptable theater format for people to see. But I cannot stand the relationship between Anna and Christian. There are a lot of things that happen in that relationship that are really unhealthy, and it makes me very, very upset about their relationship. The writing I wasn't a huge fan of with their relationship. There were just a lot of little pieces that put together I wasn't sold on. I couldn't do it. And I tried really, really hard. I read all 3 books. Just wasn't my favorite. The next question is about the scratchy wool sweater you got for Christmas last year that even though you haven't worn, you don't have the heart to get rid of. For this one, I am picking a couple books off of my bookshelf that I haven't read yet, but I don't have the heart to get rid of for various reasons. So the first one is An Abundance of Catherines by John Green, and I haven't read this book yet, but I did read Paper Towns and The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, and I wasn't a huge fan of Paper Towns, but The Fault in Our Stars probably ruined and scarred me emotionally, and it was magical and I loved every second of it. And I think that's the reason that even though I haven't read An Abundance of Catherines yet, that it is still on my shelf, because The Fault in Our Stars gave me all of the feels, and I'm really hoping to get that same experience out of another John Green book, because even though I didn't like Paper Towns a ton, I'm hoping that Abundance of Catherines will redeem John Green for me and make it another magical experience, because gosh darn it, John Green, I want another The Fault in Our Stars. I need you to rip my heart out again, throw it on the floor, and make me enjoy every single second of it, because that's what The Fault in Our Stars was. The other book that is on this question is In the After by Demetria Lunetta. This is the first book in a duology. The second book is In the End, and as far as I know, it is a dystopian duology, and it sounds really, really good. I haven't heard a ton of reviews on this book, and I honestly haven't heard a lot around it on BookTube, and I think that's one of the reasons I haven't gotten rid of it yet, is because I would like to read it and be able to share with everyone my thoughts on it, because I'm hoping it's really, really good, and I really, really like dystopian young adult books, so I'm pretty sure that's why I haven't gotten rid of it, even though it's been sitting on my shelf for almost 6 months now, which is a long time for me. Usually I pile through the books I read or I buy relatively quickly. So hopefully I'll get to this one soon. Hopefully I don't have to eliminate it from my bookshelf. Hopefully. Number 8 is Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. Name a character death that you are still very upset about. There will be spoilers in this section. The book that I chose for this question was Allegiant by Veronica Roth. If you have not read Allegiant, I will thumbs up when the spoilers are done. Until then, mute your volume if you don't want spoilers. Here goes. The end of this book features the character death of Triss, who is basically the main character for the entirety of the trilogy, and it could have been avoided if she had just let Caleb die like he was supposed to. I think that's the reason I'm so upset about this death, is because Caleb could have died, and he was a dick, and he could have died, and Triss had a moment of heroics, and chose to let her brother live, and I was angry and upset about it, and I applaud the author for sticking to her guns and choosing an ending that she wanted instead of an ending that she knew people would enjoy. But gosh darn it, couldn't you have killed someone else? Spoilers. The next question is, the malls are very crowded on the holidays with too many shoppers. Name a book series that went too long. And for this one, I am choosing the House of Night series by Kirsten and PC Cast. Again, I mentioned it earlier in this video. It has, I think, 8, 9, 10 books in it thus far, and I think it's finally finished this year. But for me, this book series just didn't move quick enough for the amount of books that it has in it. Like the Harry Potter series has a ton of books in it, but each book spans a year, and for me, that's moving pretty darn quick. Each book in the series, I think, spans maybe a couple weeks, maybe. So it moves pretty slowly, and I think I would have liked it more had it moved quicker and had a little bit faster plot development and character development. Other than that, it was such a good couple books. I read the first couple books in the series, then it fell off for me, and I think part of that was because there are just so many stinking books in this series. There are too many. And the last question is The Grinch. Name a character you hate. Just one character that you hate. For this, I am picking either Lena or Ethan from the Beautiful Creatures book / whatever the series is called. I don't know if it was the writing or the character development, but both Lena and Ethan seemed very bland and very surface to me, and I really like to get depth and some like real like grit and raw emotion and something really like cool in my characters, and I didn't really get that from either of them in this series. And because of that, I have not finished book 1, which means I also have not moved on with the series. So if later in the series their character development gets better, let me know down in the comments below, because I would really like to finish this book, but the characters right now are just kind of killing it for me, and I'm not entirely sure if that can ever be remedied. It's kind of in the same boat as City of Bones for me right now, but hopefully if someone can convince me otherwise, I will attempt to pick it up soon and give it another go maybe. We shall see. So those are all of the questions for this tag. I will leave the people who I tagged down in the description box below, as well as tagging them in the comments with their Google Plus little tag name things. So keep an eye out for that if you think you might be tagged or want to be tagged. Otherwise, if you feel the need to do this video, just go for it. I will keep an eye out for everyone else's videos because I like watching tag videos. I think they're pretty darn cool. Otherwise, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Hope you guys have a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year's, and I will see you all either shortly later in December or in the new year. Otherwise, until next time guys, bye!